me being a soldier, people expect a certain degree of authenticity. So there were times when, you had an inspection in the unit where you had to brief the senior visiting officer. You had to have your presentations on point. That is the time your children will create some ruckus at home. They'll get injured, or they will be ill, sick, or some other issue. That is the time your in-laws will also come. And, there will be things happening around you. So when people talk about the work-life balance, when people talk about collaboration, when people talk about discipline, the most beautiful thing Army taught me was to stay calm. Have your basics in place. These drills, these small drills at home, these phone numbers, whom to approach when, what to do in a time of contingency, whom to approach. Foster good relationships with your neighbors. Like my neighbors would know that, okay, fine, next 3 days I'm busy with the inspection. In case of emergency, my ayah will reach out to them and they will help. Same I would do. Mind you, excellence has no gender.
Hello and welcome to Rabbi Rashi Foundation. We're super excited to have Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh, who's the founder of HV Soft Skills Company, is a distinguished military leader with 24 years of service in the Indian Army. Wow. And she's extremely beautiful. She has impacted many, many lives. And beyond her military career, she is deeply committed to social service, as in advocating for women in the armed forces and supporting organizations, serving specially abled children, NCC youth, and much more. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है हिमांशी जी. Okay, to start with, I would want you to share your journey with all our listeners. How did you start and why and how you came into the army? Over to you.
Thank you for inviting me on your show, Rashi. And I'm really honored and humble at the same time. My journey started very young. I was a keen sportsman in school and I used to participate in all co curricular activities. I feel, along with your studies, it is important that emphasis should be given to all co curricular activities. We get driven by success in terms of numbers, but success is all about having a holistic personality. My parents started very young with me. They encouraged me to participate in everything. Even if I was not coming first, it was fine. My father always said, be there, learn. Not this time, maybe next time. So after finishing my graduation, I moved to Delhi and I started pursuing diploma in apparel merchandising. But my heart was craving something else, and that was joining the military. But to get pocket money, I used to do a little bit of shows. So used to go for ramp walk to Kamani Auditorium and various other places to very nice modeling agencies. And I work with some really, really good models. But that was not my calling. I knew I need to be in a very secured career. As my father was from the military, so there was always a charm for that uniform. So while studying my diploma, doing my part-time jobs, I applied for the SSB, and with the grace of God, it came through. Allahabad is supposed to be a rejection center because it is tough to get through the SSB if you go to Allahabad. It's one of the toughest centers. So my father said, it's a rejection center, and let's see if you can make it. My mother said a very beautiful statement during that time, and I'll quote her. She said, बच्चों के जब पंख निकल आते हैं ना, उनको उड़ने देना चाहिए, चाहे वो कितनी बार भी गिरे. Even if she will not get through there, she will learn how to fly. So I went to Allahabad. My intention was not just the interview, but to see the beautiful city of Prayagraj. And I had some friends who were there with me in the hostel who hailed from Prayagraj. So, along with the interview, more stress was given to socialize and meet friends. With the grace of God, I got through. And when I came back to Delhi, where I was staying in a hostel, immediately I rushed to Vaishno Mata. That's my go-to place whenever I feel, that I have achieved something. The result for the interview was they were not out yet, but somewhere in my heart, I felt that I had achieved something by just appearing for it. Something which makes you eligible is again a beautiful thing. So I appeared for the interview. I thought I'm worthy of the grace, and maybe someday I'll wear that uniform. So I went to Vaishno Mata. When I came back, I went and told my parents back home that I didn't come home because I'd gone to Vaishno Mata. I think within short span of time, we were selected, and I went to Officers Training Academy, Chennai, and then there was no looking back. I went through my mandatory courses. In the year 2000, after we were commissioned and we were already in the units, the Kargil war happened. So we were inducted there, and it was a different high, I would say, because any soldier, it doesn't matter what arm or service you are from, you get enrolled to serve when the time comes with the complete enthusiasm, lead by example, and be a role model. We were there doing our duties properly, and thereafter, the journey has been beautiful. Army has given me such vast experience, whether it comes to being on the panel of parliamentary commission discussing regarding the women permanent commission, whether it was looking after specially able children at Asha School, Delhi Cant, whether it was running a full-fledged auditorium with a footfall of more than 7,000. It gives you wings. It gives you an ability to explore within. It's such a beautiful and adventurous life for the people who are there to explore. After serving for more than 23 years, I decided to hang my uniform and anchor my base as my children were grown up. I have a college going son, and I decided to take a break, and then I started my own company by the name of HVE Personality Development. Meanwhile, I participated in a couple of beauty pageants. I have groomed girls for beauty pageants. I still do so. And this I'm doing with passion, because now I take it not just as a passion, but also responsibility, that whatever I have learned so far, I must impart that knowledge, wisdom, grace, humility, humbleness to the people who are around me and those who are seeking these qualities to become better humans.
या देखो कर्नल, एक तो आप सुंदर, ऊपर से आर्मी. So were you taken, or you had an arranged marriage? This is something which is hitting me here.
No, I was taken, and we had this very beautiful marriage at Taj Khema, Agra, to which the parents agreed happily. And thereafter, yes, I'm blessed to be married to another army officer. who's doing equally well, and we have two very beautiful, humble, and grounded children who are doing extremely well. Both my children are animal lovers, and just 3 days ago, we have adopted two, can I say, stray dogs, and we are looking after them. So I think the values are in place, and with the grace of God, family is blessed with happiness, peace, and I'd say it's a happy place.
Absolutely beautiful. And वैसे भी जो animal lovers होते हैं, I have a personal liking for them because we are also pet lovers, animal lovers, and this is absolutely wonderful. Okay, Colonel Himanshi, I want you to share with everyone the lessons that you've learned in your military career. I understand morals are intact and they are intact and all that I understand. But I'm sure there would be some hardcore lessons. It wouldn't have been easy for you, and so tell everybody about that and how it shaped you as an individual. Over to you.
Rashi, life can be overwhelming for everyone. It has been for me too. Most of the time, being in the army, you don't get postings together in the same station. So, most of the times, I have been a single mother. So, there were times when, you had an inspection in the unit where you had to brief the senior visiting officer. You had to have your presentations on point. That is the time your children will create some ruckus at home. They'll get injured, or they will be ill, sick, or some other issue. That is the time your in-laws will also come. And there will be things happening around you. So when people talk about the work-life balance, when people talk about collaboration, when people talk about discipline, the most beautiful thing army taught me was to stay calm. You have to be there for the inspection at 800 hours. You have worked the prior night till 3:30 in the office. You have gone home. You've just been with the children for a very little time. You've just given your instructions to the maid. You're there in the office sharp at 8 o'clock, ready for your presentation. And you get a call from home. The Aya would call, they've fought and the younger one is hurt. He's bleeding. What do you do? So you have to equip your help that, okay, fine, at this point of time when I am busy, whom should they call? How should they take them to the hospital? And you also have to tell your children that all the time parents may not be available around. So stay strong. Take care of yourself. Parents will fall back the moment they are free. But during that time, stay strong. So it has not just happened once or twice, it has happened many times. Some contingency will come up when you are in the middle of something. So what army taught me was that life will go on no matter what. Stay disciplined. Have your basics in place. These drills, these small drills at home, these phone numbers, whom to approach when, what to do in a time of contingency, whom to approach. Foster good relationships with your neighbors. Ask them, okay, fine, this is the time I would need you. Like my neighbors would know that, okay, fine, next 3 days I'm busy with the inspection. In case of emergency, my Aya will reach out to them and they will help. Same I would do. In the office also, I had told my staff that if any emergency like this comes, don't wait for instructions from me. Take command decision. So it helped me in developing leaderships, not just for me, but for the people around me. It fostered having beautiful collaborative relationships. It helped me in delegating easily. So when I transitioned from the military life, having these things, discipline, ethos, values, that is integral. But these other skills, they were developed to an extent that not just me, but people around me were able to take command decisions. So I think that's the best learning from the army.
And I think that is the reason you've grown as a person, bigger than life, adaptive to, new ideas. And, because I have been talking to her and I understand that how open-headed she is. She's so, she can absorb things. Tell me, what inspired your advocacy for permanent commission for women in the army? And what progress had, you when you were working in that area, you had seen? Over to you.
I had joined army for 5 years on a contract. All right. Then it was extended to a 5 years contract. Then it was extended to a 4 years contract. Now, if you have served for 14 years in an organization and they ask you to go out, you're back to square one from where you had started. You will have to look for a job from the very basic. So that was against the preamble of the Constitution. I was not going out. I means the lady officers were not going out because they lacked in capability. Mind you, excellence has no gender. They were all excellent officers who had performed exceedingly well in war. In Afghanistan, you must have heard about the officers who have done so well. The women officers have done so well. Various other aspects. I had given such a, I'll say, a humongous contribution to Asha School Delhi Cant, where I have done renovations in terms of making heated swimming pool for these children and uh, taking care of the syllabus, revising it, and doing a lot of things. So when I could do it with two of my children, sorry to say this, but men do not have these responsibilities. And in army also, we were the one who were taking care of the children because husbands were posted at far-flung places. So it used to be a double or a triple time a job. And you're asking me to leave the job and go out just because I'm a woman. Um, That is something which was very uncalled for. So we decided to fight against it. If I'm not capable, you can shut the door on my face. But if I'm capable, don't do it because you are driven by stereotypes and backward mindset. It was a long battle, but lady officers stood together and permanent commission came through. Though it is not that kind of parity which we have got, because there yet very many armed forces where women are yet to venture, especially the infantry and others. But still, army has opened doors. Last year, I had gone to Defense Services Staff College, Wellington, as a visiting faculty to give them a session on gender equality, as army is trying to put women in commanding officer post, and some of my colleagues are commanding, my ex-colleagues are commanding, and with the grace of God they'll progress. But the biases which are there due to societal norms need to be addressed, because if a woman is commanding, not just the men who are under her command, there are peers with whom she needs to collaborate, the hierarchy, which needs to understand how women work. See, it is little different. So all these things have to be kept in mind, and for that they had invited me to give a talk. And I was so proud to see lady officers sitting in Defense Services Staff College. They've broken the glass ceiling. And it was personally, for me, a very proud moment, not just because I was a faculty there. It was a big thing for me. And but seeing these young, brave, beautiful women officers questioning the whites and being there after clearing the competitive staff college exam, which is so prestigious. So there are good times which we see, but I'm very proud that I was part of this entire muhim which we had taken up with the Supreme Court, and Honorable Supreme Court was kind enough to understand what the real struggle for women in armed forces was.
You've been a part of the beauty pageants, and you've been a part of that part of life where you have to be into the army and strict and disciplined, no nonsense at all, being humble at the same time. Is it always about having a pretty face? Whether it is army, whether it is home, whether it is family, whether it is entrepreneurship. Because there are many people who come to me and they ask me, and they will just randomly say, "आप अच्छे दिखते हो ना?" So, and today I want to ask this, it's been in my mind, and I want to ask you because I know you will understand what I'm trying to say.
Rashi, pretty face can, appeal to your eyes for some time. But when it comes to brass tacks, when it comes to business, when it comes to profit, when it's about running home, this does not last. What lasts is having those soft skills in place, like what I teach. When you are at home, you have to be a good mother, a good wife, a good host to people who come to your house. You have to go down to the detail of the last thing on the menu. If 10 people are coming, I would personally call them and ask them, what do you like to have? I ensure that I get up before my children and I look after their needs that I brought out earlier. My husband has been serving, he's a serving brigadier. I was his backbone. He achieved success, and I can say it candidly because I was taking care of the house when he was not around. I was taking care of his parents when he was not around. Military, mind you, is a very difficult place to be. It's not about pretty face. I would not have survived those 5 years when I was there for a contract. But after serving for 24 years, it's completely on merit. Very beautiful people have terrible relationships. Very beautiful people are sitting home jobless. It is never easy. First of all, it's never easy for a woman. Secondly, being pretty makes it hard because you have to prove to people that you're not just beauty, you have brain too. I'll give you a very small example from Mahabharat, and I've heard this story somewhere. Draupadi was married to 5 Pandavas, and she was the most respected woman in the entire family. So one of her friends, she asked her why they respect you so much. All these 5 Pandavas, they treat you as the wife and they respect you, but because no decision was taken without her consent. Obviously, in Indian time, the Indian culture has been such. आपकी परमिशन के बिना वो आपको यज्ञ में बाएं भी नहीं बिठा सकते हैं. It's that powerful. पत्नी की उपस्थिति के बिना आपका यज्ञ पूरा नहीं है if you're married. It's that powerful. So she asked her, why are you so powerful and why are you so respected? She said, I'm the one who gets up early in the morning. I know what will be cooked in the kitchens. I know how many kings will dine with the King Yudhishthir. I know how much wealth is there. I know how many horses will go out when the king goes out to meet the other kings. What gifts will be sent? I know the name of the last person who's working in the kitchen. I will taste the food before it is served to the people. That is the kind of devotion, dedication, commitment takes, I mean, it's just an example, is from a woman to make her life successful. It is not about the pretty face. I have seen almost 45 years of life. A pretty face would not have carried me very far. It looks good when I'm walking on the ramp. Till now, I'm going for beauty pageants and I'm grooming girls and all that. It's one way to be very confident. You're pretty fine. And it is just one part of your personality. How you talk, how you claim the aura in the room, how you make other people feel, how you sit down, eat, what you wear. Everything makes a woman beautiful. And her beauty is all about how she makes other people feel loved, cared for, and wanted in her life. What you are doing is many years of hard work, Rashi. It is not just a pretty face. If you were not able to conduct this interview, I mean, this podcast would not have been there. So people must understand women are going all out, getting up early in the morning, taking care till the last person, doing extra all the time. That makes them beautiful.
And I think she's absolutely right because she exactly knows how to make one beautiful and get that confidence that you are beautiful. So I would request all the women out there, all the young girls out there, get in touch with her. I think she will get the best out of you. Coming back to so many awards at the back, I'm sure you've done some really great work and you're still doing, honestly. So tell us about some achievements. Tell us about the impacts you've made, in particular fields. Over to you.
See, as we were discussing, with the grace of God, I was given an opportunity to serve these children who are called as special children, children with special needs. I work with women who are actually, uh, I'll say sometimes women are left by their families, by the people they trusted at times, and they really don't know what to do. So I've worked with very many NGOs. I've worked with Holy Family, which is in Delhi, and they work with the girl orphanage. And not just that, Rashi, I've even taught, I'm still teaching so many children without charging them even a single rupee to help them in developing their personality. There's some girls in the college, who cannot afford even 100 rupees. I tell them, I said, you give me 100 rupees, if not more, because I don't want that I'm imparting this to you free. But some children actually cannot afford that. As I take it on me to impart education. So every time it's not about money, every time it's not about making bigger profit. What I try and impart is that if I am going out and giving to you, you also have ability to give something to the society. I work with mensurating girls, they don't know how to take care of their hygiene. And we are so shut out about these very important biological facts of life. Menstruation is something which in some part of India is celebrated, but mostly, especially northern India, we don't even want to talk about it. So all these things you see on the wall is that I work for old age societies, I work for these orphanage girls and women. So somewhere people understand that I'm not doing it, first of all, to show people that I'm working. Secondly, I felt very blessed when I got this opportunity to work at Asha School, and I realized how blessed I am. I say sorry for this, that I have two normal children. That is the biggest blessing, you know. You are not getting up in the morning worried about so many things in life, which a parent of a special child goes through. For them, you know, just unzipping a chain or a zip and zipping it up is a task. It takes them years to learn that task. So when I realized that these smaller things which we take for granted are not to be taken for granted. As a human being, we must try to be very empathetic. We must not judge other people. You don't know what people are going through. Life can be overwhelming. Yesterday, I was having breakfast in the Indian coffee house here, and there were two children. They wanted to eat there. So the guard was not letting them come inside. So I said, okay, fine, let them come in. He said, Madam, इनको सुबह breakfast करा दिया है हमने. So I said, कोई बात नहीं, I will pay for these children. आप आने दो. नहीं मैडम ये सारा दिन परेशान करते हैं. I said, कोई बात. So I told the children, they were sitting on the next table. Very reluctantly, he allowed them. I said, I'm your client. I can entertain anyone here. So those children came and sat down. I told him, I said, whatever they want, just take the order. Those children wanted to have a dosa, and they gave them vada, thinking that I will not pay. So I asked that child, I said, he said, Madam, मुझे तो कुछ और खाना था, ये तो कुछ और दे गया. So I called the waiter. I said, आपको issue क्या है? आप इनको दीजिए because I'm going to pay. It's not going to be on. So he got dosa. Meanwhile, I got talking to those children. I said, आप क्या करते क्या हो? I said, मैडम हम डेली प्लास्टिक की बॉटल बीनते हैं. तो जब हम 2000 बॉटल इकट्ठी करते हैं तो हमें 200 रुपए मिलते हैं. So 1000 rupees for 100 bottles they were collecting, and this is how they survive. So I said, आप स्कूल क्यों नहीं जाते हो? So one child said, I go to school. The other one doesn't go to school because his father committed suicide. And it hit me hard. See, when we see such children, we say dismiss. I mean, we just dismiss them, thinking that, ठीक है, ये आदत है, या I have not done a very great thing by offering them one meal because it will not going to last for life. But it gave me a different perspective. Rather than dismissing somebody's issues, understand if they are doing a certain thing, why they are doing a certain thing. I mean, life is difficult. For us who sit in AC rooms, it is different in a different way. But I think I'll not say life is not fair, but yes, you have to go through that cycle of happiness, sadness, joy, sorrow. So stay grounded and build resilience inside. That is the only thing which will carry you through.
And I think this gives us a different perspective also, that why. And I think this is beautifully, and this gives a lot of peace to me as well, understanding. Okay, so tell me something. I understand that you've been into the beauty world and, and your transition from the military to this. So how do you manage? What is your daily routine about your food habits? And we understand that genetically we are blessed somewhere. But of course, it doesn't last. So tell us about your daily routine.
I am extremely disciplined, Rashi. I'm extremely disciplined. I feel if you want to achieve something, whatever field you are, people used to laugh when I said from army I'm going to beauty pageant. They used to say, Acha. I mean, it's totally different. But it's nothing is different from the other thing because everything entails hard work. Everything need you to commit yourself. Everything need you to have prior knowledge. Everything need you to build your soft skills because every profession you are in, you need to talk. Any human being who's alive will communicate. And if you have built up these skills, you will be successful in whatever you want to do. So when I was building up, preparing, it took me 2 to 3 years to build for the pageant. While staying in the army, after coming back from my office, I used to devote 2 to 3 hours to understand that before I take up lunch in this field, I must know the current trends. I must understand the trending colors. I must understand the trending styles. I must understand the trending makeup looks. There's so much nude look to glitzy, shimmery, this, that, and all. So it took me 2 years, after office, no matter how late it was, I used to spend time because that was something which I was trying to live my childhood dream. I wanted to be a model when I was in college, but somehow it didn't work out because parents told me, no, follow something which gives you stability. So it is very important that whatever your life is, wherever you are, stay disciplined. There's so much of awareness these days. There are so many Instagram reels, there are videos, and every day you get WhatsApp forwards. So everybody is trying to inculcate that awareness in you. Despite all that, if you are not aware, you will never ever be successful. You need to sleep on time. First of all, it's a priority for me. Recently, I conducted a workshop on Ikigai and I got to learn about the way Harahachi-bu, the way Japanese eat. They only eat to 80% of their stomach fill. And वो हमारे culture में भी था. When I was very small, I was growing up, I used to go to village and these people would only eat twice a day. Morning and evening, बीच में little bit of munching, but after 6 o'clock, the kitchen used to close. So that intermittent fasting was happening automatically. Nobody was teaching them. And I've realized these ancient wisdoms, which we have observed in life, they are very well imbibed in your DNA. You just have to, वो हनुमान को जैसे किसी ने शक्तियां अपनी याद दिलाई थी ना, भूल गए थे उड़ना. Somebody needs to remind you time and again. So for me, staying disciplined is one thing. I cherish that ancient wisdom which I have seen while growing up. I stay very mindful of what I eat. That doesn't mean that I don't eat sweet, I don't eat puri, I don't eat ice cream. I eat everything in moderation. I don't count the calories as such. But you will find a rainbow in my plate over the 7 days. I will gorge on pasta, I will gorge on biryani, I will gorge on pulao, everything. And apart from that, I believe in stimulating my mind. I read a lot. Most of my time goes in seeking knowledge. And if you challenge me, then I will go all out to learn a thing. I think your quest for knowledge should never cease. And that is how you stay alive, beautiful. See, when do you get old? Is when you stop seeking. You accept I'm getting older. But if you know that you're stimulating your mind, your brain knows that this is not the time for you to get old.
So there is a great takeaway from this conversation right now that you have to be disciplined. So when you follow a disciplined life, life gets going in a better way for you. Wonderful, Colonel Himanshi. Now you are often being seen on the television, various news channels, and you give your point of view. So what is the experience like, and how can you encourage people? What are some great insights you would like to share? Over to you.
See, being on television is a great responsibility. You need to give people the correct perspective. See, in the times of paid media and other things, you know, it is a responsibility, first of all, me being a soldier, people expect a certain degree of authenticity. So I have to be well versed with whatever I speak. Secondly, uh, apart from this responsibility, there has to be thorough knowledge on the subject. Because when you are sitting on a panel, you're discussing things which are very important. Sometimes it is about women, sometimes it is about life in army, sometimes it is strategic relationships. So everything is very, very diverse. So you have to stay abreast and share your wisdom with people in a very, very simplified way so that they understand. I don't want to get lost in the jargon. You know, I've seen people coming up, God bless their vocabulary, and I respect that. But, you must make people understand that this is what it is. Life is simple. Problems are because we try to make things complicated. And same goes for the ideas. So I try to do that when I'm on television because it amuses me that knowledge is seen by the way you're communicating. You don't need to have this structure be overwhelmed by a lot of laces. So I feel it's the duty to give correct perspective to people. This is how I see my television appearances.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because most of the people, when they speak, they don't have a perspective. They will speak on how good the English is or how good the Hindi is. But actually being live on a television and giving a correct perspective with authenticity is something which I think only comes when you have a thorough knowledge. There's a lot of research that goes in. There is a lot of time giving to the subject. You just can't go and speak. It's so difficult. So that's why people keep repeating. Most of the time, when we have seen people coming on a show also, they will just keep repeating the same thing in different formats. So I
May I
wonder,
add something? May
yeah,
I add something,
yeah,
Rashi? There's lot of verbal violence which is happening on the television these days. When I see people, I mean, the only thing that is left is not hitting each other. Otherwise, with their words, they're really sharp. It actually amazes me. How can, you be so derogatory to each other? So it's something
that,
which I cannot.
and that too on the national TV.
Yes.
So it's funny. Oh, great, great. Okay, so Colonel Himanshi, what is your future plan now? Where are you heading to? Let's say,
Rashi, I feel that there's a lot of responsibility on me as of now. Um, it is time for me to give back to society because God has really blessed me. Mata Saraswati और Lakshmi की असीम कृपा है. So this is time for me to impart knowledge, work for these people who need me around, and also the animals which I love. So the vision is to take HV soft skills, which is my dream baby, to greater heights where we have the funds also pouring in. Because to need an organization working, you need money to run it, whether it is for any cause. And when these things come up with funds, we can upgrade ourselves. We can upgrade the way we, impart education, knowledge, and develop these personalities. And apart from that, side by side, we need to do meaningful work towards the society. It is not just having the corporate responsibility, it is a moral obligation on every human being who's blessed to impart whatever they can in whichever way to the people who are less privileged, because this is how we are going to make a better world.
adding to this, I want you to tell everyone your success mantra.
My success mantra is, first of all, stay true to yourself. Work hard, party even harder. Never leave your core values and stick to basics. If you're sticking to basics, you will never ever go wrong. What is basic? Basic is doing your things on time, non procrastinating. Because if you're procrastinating, you do mediocre work. Be systematic in life, and these basics will take you far in life. So there's no stopping for people who are sticking to basic.
Yeah, that's a very, very important point. Let's not complicate things and just adapt and accept the basic things in life. And I think one will grow. That is what she's trying to say. What is your one message to all the brands and communities out there? Over to you.
I feel we all know that people are emotional beings. So for people who are trying to be emotionally manipulative, please don't do that. Sell what you actually authenticate in your words. Money is not the only success in life. Designations are not the only success in life. Trust, values, and yes, with that, whatever you can, profits you can make is for your survival. But be authentic in whatever you do. Stay committed to your words. And that is my message to everyone.
And I think she's saying this with a lot of grace and lot of strength because that is what she follows. And this is absolutely wonderful. And it's been a great conversation today, Colonel Himanshi.
Just embrace everything with grace and gratitude. Because when you find pleasures in very small things in life, life will give you more things to be grateful. And this is not a quote I'm quoting. This is what I follow. And I feel, as we say in Gurbani, ईश्वर वहां से देना शुरू करता है जहां आपकी सोच खत्म हो जाती है. दिल खोल के ईश्वर से मांगो, ask for moon, and trust me, you will have moon in your backyard. I have personally, experienced these beautiful things in life. It's because I'm ready to share whatever knowledge, wealth, wisdom I have. अपना जीवन ज्ञान, बुद्धि, विवेक तीनों चीजों के साथ जियो. Life is beautiful, and trust me, when you have these three things with you, there's nothing in life which can shake you because you will know the reason why this issue has come up to you. You will know the way how to navigate through it. And you will be non-challenged. When all this is happening, आप वो स्थिर खड़े रहोगे वहां पे, when all these ripples are being created and all these hurricanes are moving around you, you will be the anchor who is peaceful within, with unshakable faith and trust.
Somehow, this podcast has given me some kind of peace. I can understand. Maybe there were a lot of questions this Monday morning on my mind, and I think she's answered. God send कुछ तो था ताकि क्योंकि मेरे को बहुत आराम मिला और बहुत से जवाब मिल गए. Beautiful, knowledgeable, insightful podcast with Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh, a versatile contributor and a committed human being. She's making waves into the beauty world and entrepreneurship. Tune into the full podcast. Colonel Himanshi, आपका बहुत बहुत thanks है किया भाई.
Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. May God give you more power, and you should grow from strength to strength.